Well, I know we just talked about a GTA 6 leak with the online a few days ago, but another one has now come out, and this will keep happening in the months leading up to the game's release. We're just going to be in another drought of info until likely late fall, so this is the information that we are going to have to go on for now. These leaks come from an individual named Detective Seeds. If you're curious about his reputation, he apparently leaked the Oblivion remaster before it came out and Doom the Dark Ages as well, so he does have some credibility to his name. However, from what I've heard, he's also banned on some various subreddits, so take that whatever way you want to. And also take these leaks with a grain of salt because, again, nothing is ever confirmed unless it comes from Rockstar themselves. So on Twitter, Detective Seeds said this the other day. GTA 6 has been and continues to hit 60 FPS while being optimized for the PS5 Pro on multiple graphical settings. PS engineers are assisting with the optimization due to the new tech being implemented and rolled out with a current target date of May 2026. They're also assisting on several other Rockstar titles that are rolling out in the near future, pre-PS5 Pro 2026 update. As of right now, 60 FPS is being achieved on the PS5 Pro only, though this could obviously change before release. It is anticipated that GTA 6 will have multiple graphical options on the PS5 Pro on release. Also, the Rockstar/PlayStation marketing deal is what's allowing and encouraging this collaboration on optimization. Should see several GTA 6/PS5 bundles in the next marketing push. This info is from a PlayStation engineer who has provided highly accurate and verified info several times in the past. So when he says they are assisting on several other Rockstar titles as well that are due out in the near future, that might have something to do with the Red Dead 2 remaster/current gen port that people have been talking about, or perhaps the GTA 4 port also. But GTA 6 hitting 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro is huge news if it does turn out to be true. We have known by now that Rockstar and PlayStation work together. They have had marketing rights for GTA for a long time now, and it will be seemingly continuing with the GTA 6 and PS5 bundles that will surely sell like hotcakes. These are going to fly off the shelves. Now, I want to go over how possible this will be, though, because there's been a lot of talk from people that know their stuff, like Digital Foundry, for instance. Even they have said themselves that they doubt GTA 6 will run at 60 FPS, even on the PlayStation 5 Pro. They all think it's going to be a 30 FPS game. So I want to take a look at the PS5 Pro specs versus the base PS5 specs to see if this is even possible and just kind of discuss it. So for the CPUs, both the PS5 and PS5 Pro use a Zen 2 8-core 16 threads chip. Apparently the PS5 Pro CPU can clock at higher speeds from what I've heard, but other than that, they are essentially identical when it comes to the CPU side of things. The GPU is where the PS5 Pro is just way better with the 60 compute units as opposed to 36 on the regular PS5, and it also has a higher max clock speed and support for PSSR upscaling, which in the future will likely make a bigger difference. So the main difference between the two is just the raw GPU power. And the way I see it, there are likely two scenarios. If the game is heavily CPU bound in any way to where it cannot functionally handle high frame rates because the game itself is just very taxing on the CPU, which we've seen a lot from other Rockstar games, then there is just no chance the game is going to be hitting 60 FPS on any of the consoles. Because at that point, it doesn't matter how much you lower the resolution or lower the graphics or disable ray tracing if the game systems themselves are just taxing on the CPU. On the other hand, though, and this could be possible as well, if they are GPU limited, then with the use of PSSR and the PS5 Pro's better GPU that is more able to handle ray tracing properly, then it is very much possible that the game is only able to run at 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro console and nothing else. If Rockstar are designing GTA 6's lighting system entirely around ray tracing to where it's a necessity to have on, like we've seen from a couple other games, I think the Indiana Jones game that came out recently requires ray tracing for its global illumination, then that is going to be very taxing on the system to where it might just not be possible for the base consoles because they won't just have enough raw GPU power to achieve that. But that's only if the problem isn't the CPU though, because even taking a look at other PS5 Pro enhanced games, Assassin's Creed Shadows uses RTGI, but on the base PS5, you can only run RTGI at 30 FPS, whereas on the PS5 Pro, you can handle that at 60 FPS. Well, that's just an example right there where if GTA 6 is designed with RTGI as a requirement and something that they do not want to alter because it would just change the game too much how it looks, then that's a case where the PS5 Pro would work out for 60 FPS and the other consoles would not. There could also be graphics options on the PS5 Pro. Well, actually, he said there was going to be graphics options on the PS5 Pro, but they would likely allow more enhanced ray tracing effects like ray traced reflections and whatnot that allow for higher resolutions as well at the same time. If they do want to lower the frame rate on the PS5 Pro to give people options, maybe they have a performance mode that only has RTGI, and the other ones, the quality mode, has a higher native resolution with other things like ray trace reflections enabled, but at 30 FPS instead. But the main thing I think that will determine whether or not the game runs at 60 FPS is if the console can handle ray traced global illumination, because I don't think that is something Rockstar will sacrifice. I think that might just be built into the game's engine for GTA 6. And you might say, well, why can they sacrifice ray traced reflections and not ray traced lighting and global illumination? Well, the difference is reflections don't really change a whole lot. Sure, they look nice, but they're very specific areas where you can really tell a huge difference, whereas something like RTGI, that drastically changes how a game looks and is pretty obvious in how different it looks without it on. And just for their artistic and visual design of the world, it's possible that without that ray traced lighting and global illumination, it would just look way too different and not really what their initial vision was when they went into designing it. One thing that will be very interesting is how the Series S handles GTA 6, because that console struggles with current games that have come out recently. The internal resolution that the game renders at on Series S is probably going to be so low, it's going to be so blurry most likely. But let me know what you guys think about these leaks. Do you think GTA 6 will in fact hit 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro, or do you think it's still going to be a game locked to 30 FPS until the next generation of consoles? If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.